Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day and you're having an amazing week. So in today's video, I want to try doing something different. I feel like I say this in every single video, but everything is different for me. So I want to try and do cutout nails. I'm gonna call them that, but I really don't know what they're called. I've seen a lot of pictures online. I'm gonna like pop a few pictures here and they're like, you have color on the nail, but the nail tip itself is clear. So you have like cutout clear nail, and I really liked how it looked. They're so simple, but they're so cute. So I wanted to try doing them today. And because the design is so simple, it's gonna rely on how steady I am or how clean the nail art is. So that's gonna be the challenge for us today. I hope I succeed and I make them look cute. And if you guys like this idea, join me in today's video and let's get started. In today's video, I am going to be doing all 10 fingers, and I have my first 5 on the nail stand right now, and I'm going for like a brown cool tone color theme. Like I do have some colors in front of me right now. I did sketch a design on the side and I'm gonna pop it right here. Ooh, I want to say that the design that I did was inspired by this reference, and I did change the colors a little bit. Like I'm not gonna use the same colors that I did in my reference, so I am going to go with the colors that I selected, and I'm going to show you guys the colors right now. I have these 5 colors. For the first hand, I have this dark red, this beige, and then this color. It's like a grayish brown with shine to it. And I have this purple. I think it's a really beautiful purple because it's kind of muted. And lastly, I have this brownish red. And I'm gonna start with the red nail. So I'm gonna be using this color. And as usual, I'm gonna try and use my longer brush first for the French tip because it's kind of like a French tip. So let's go in with my color. And you guys, if I look a little sleepy or if I sound a little sleepy, please excuse that. I did wake up like 30 minutes ago or something, and my cat just loves to sleep on me when I'm sleeping, and I wake up too early than I want to, so it's just a little bit rough in the morning. Okay, so how I'm gonna do the French tip is mark the top of my French tip and then draw like a line in the middle, just so I can understand where my middle lies and I can keep it symmetrical as much as possible. And then I am gonna bring it down to these corners, so I'll try and like curve it down. Okay, that is not the best curve, but we are going to work with it. Okay, I don't know why it's like doing an S shape, but I'll try and fix it now. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna try something. I'll try and fill the nail with my brush, like the normal nail brush or the nail polish brush, and then I'll try and like carve out. Okay, tell me why that looks better than the actual brush. It looks so much better. Okay, let me try and do it on the other side. Okay, you know what? It's not the best, it's not the worst. I'm gonna clean off the top area that I don't really like with my dotting tool. So I'm just gonna scrape a little bit off to make it look a little bit better. I changed, like I hope you guys noticed, but I changed the like my backdrop for the nails. I do like keeping it dark because I feel like you can see the nails more than you can focus on the background. So, but my table looked a little bit too messed up, I'm not gonna lie. From all of my chrome experiments, the table just died, I'm not gonna lie. The table is just like full of chrome, and I don't know, I thought it looked too messy and I didn't want to have it on camera, so I'm gonna use this backdrop in the moment. Okay, so this is how the bottom French tip looks. I'm gonna do the French tip like a normal French tip on top now, so hopefully that will be easier. Okay, so now for the French tip, I am just gonna be using my brush again, like my nail polish brush. I'm thinking if I want to like bring it down a bit more or just keep it to the top, but let me just fix up the edge a little bit and then I'm gonna see. Okay, so I put the nail against my own nail and I noticed that the curve at the bottom was a bit lower than where my nail ends. So what I did was just extend it a little bit on the top so it can actually cover my natural nail when I wear it. And now we can move on to the pointer finger, and the design of the pointer finger is going to be like an opposite French tip on top. So instead of like covering this area I'm gonna leave it clear and then cover something in the middle, and I'm gonna have like a window at the bottom. Okay, so I forgot that I had to add like a blob of clear gel in the middle, so I did that off camera and I cured it really quickly, and this is how the nail is gonna look. So I'm gonna wait till it fully dries so I can top coat it, because I don't want like any of the red to run and I want it to look really crisp and clean. So now we can move on to the pointer finger, and I'm gonna try and do the design as much as possible with you guys on camera as usual, but sometimes I just have to have the nail this close to my face so I can see it. So wait, let me get my cat out. So the color we're gonna be using is this one, and I'm gonna use my long brush again if I can find it. Okay, so here's my long brush and I'm gonna be using it again. So let's take this off the stand, and basically this is just gonna be like a French tip but coming from the top, and I need to have a curve like so. So I'm gonna just figure out the top of the curve and then try and connect it to the sides. And actually this doesn't look too bad. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but I will try and do like the other curve now so I can fill in between. And I want the other curve to be kind of around here, and I'm just gonna go the opposite direction. So instead of doing like the C curve going up, I'm gonna do it going down, basically like a French tip, but instead of like having a solid color to the top, I'm cutting out a little bit of section down here. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So now I'm gonna fill this area in between just so I can see the shapes a little bit clearer, and I'm just gonna be using my brush that came in the nail polish bottle. And it's really nice to use this when you want to fill big areas quickly. You just have to be careful not to go over the edge that you just drew. Okay, so this is how the pointer finger looks, and I didn't do the outline on the bottom like I have in my reference. I didn't think it looked cute because I don't know, I feel like it's gonna close up this space a little bit too much, and I'm just happy with how it looks now. So we can jump onto the middle finger, and I have a window in the middle, and I'm gonna have like a French tip on top and then like a downward facing C curve on the bottom. And the color I'm gonna be using is this beautiful color. It's like a grayish brown with some iridescence in it, or I don't know what to call this effect, I'm gonna be honest. It's like I think it's pearlescent. So I'm gonna be using it, and this is like a part of Amanda's Coffee Chic collection. They have like a lot of colors in this collection, and I think I do have another color that I'm gonna be using for this nail set coming from the same collection. So let's get started on this one, and I'm gonna be going back to my thin brush to do the French tip. So this is how the middle finger design turns out. It is a bit patchy in some areas, like when I put it up to the light, it does look a bit patchy. So what I'm gonna do is wait till I finish all the designs on one hand, and then I'm gonna go over the colors with a second coat just to ensure that every little piece of the nail is opaque as I want it to be. But for now, we can move on to the ring finger, and this is gonna have like a more typical French tip design. It's going to have like a basic French tip, and then in the French tip, I'm gonna have a little window, and in this little window I'm gonna have some 3D gel blob just like I had with the thumbnail over here. And I'm gonna use this muted purple color, and let me go in and draw the window, because for this design I can't really go in with my nail polish brush because I do have a big window, and I'm just gonna plot out where I want the French tip to be. So let's say around here. So this is gonna be my window in the middle, and let's just get started on the French tip. Also, you guys, I realized that this is gonna be a really short video because the designs are so simple and it's just about perfecting the shape. So it's gonna be like a short video, but that does not mean that it's a simple video or like an easy design, because you really have to be careful in the shapes that you draw, because when there isn't much on the nail, then the focus goes to whatever is on the nail, and if that is not perfect or as close to perfect, oh, you can see my cat back there. If that is not as perfect as it can be, it is gonna be a bit too obvious. And let me fill out the top over here. And now for the window, I think what I'm gonna be doing is drawing like a line down the sides of the nail, just like as a border for my window. Okay, so this is like the basic outline. Now I have to go in and do the actual shape of the window. And I think how I'm gonna approach this is kind of by closing off this triangle in the corner over here on both sides and rounding off the top as well. And then this basically is gonna be my window, so I'm gonna try and corner and make the corners a little bit curved. So instead of having this like sharp connection over here and down here, I'm gonna try and make them a little bit curved so it looks like one homogeneous shape, kind of like this. And then I'm gonna do it on the other side, and I think I like how that looks, so let me just adjust some lines down here. Okay, so now that I'm done with the French tip design, I am going to go in with my gel with you guys to add the 3 blobs. And I'm gonna be using this gel that I've been using and my UV lamp, and I'm gonna be using like a small brush to form the blobs on the nail. So let's get started. And my technique here is just to deposit some of the 3D gel on the brush and then add some of it in the area that I want. So let's say I want one over here, and I do try as much as possible to keep it as level and as circular as I can from all sides. But sometimes when I can't achieve that in one go, I will cure what I have, and then I will go in again with another blob after it cures to fix it. But I do try and make it as good as possible on the first time, just so I don't have to spend too much time on one blob. Okay, let's make a third one. And I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger than the other 2 because I really don't want it to seem like I'm making a triangle of blobs. So this is the initial shape for all of the circles, and I am gonna cure it like this and then finish it up so it can look a little bit better. So let's cure this and come right back. This is how the ring finger looks with the blobs, and I did kind of like make them a little bit less circular and a bit more blob shape or like organically shaped. So I do love how they look. It kind of reminds me of like the lava lamps. And now we can move on to our last finger, which is the pinky. And the design for the pinky is going to be quite simple. It's just going to be horizontal stripe with like a French tip on the bottom. And the color I'm going to be using is this beautiful maroon color. Let's go ahead and plot out where our French tip is going to be. And the way I do this is by putting the nail tip next to my nail. So let me put them base to base, and then I'm going to draw where my actual nail ends, like the pink part. And this is where I know the top of the French tip is going to be. And since I'm doing this design on a pinky, it's not going to have too much length. So I'm just going to try and make the French tip quite thin so it doesn't take up too much space. Okay, this is gonna be the base for the French tip, and now I'm just gonna basically go on top and draw a horizontal line, so just like so. And later I'm gonna be filling in these triangles in the corners, but for now I do want to start on these stripes. And I do like starting these stripes by plotting out where I want them to go and how many I should add. So let me put one here. And I showed you guys in a previous video of mine, I think it was like maybe 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, but it's like a basics of nail videos, and I'm gonna have it in the eye section over here, or the eye card, so you guys can check it out after this video. But I showed you guys some techniques to do some French tips and some basic designs like stripes that I'm doing right now. So if you're ever feeling a little bit lost in one of my regular videos and you feel like I'm going a little bit too fast and you're not understanding how to make a design like this, you can always go back to that video and check out the techniques that I explained, because in that video I explained them in depth, and I do have them simplified, or like I simplified the steps so that anyone can copy these steps. And it doesn't matter how skilled you are at nail art, even if you're just a beginner, you can do these designs. So I do recommend checking it out. But now we have our basic outline for these stripes. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill out these stripes a little bit and fill out these little triangles. And I'm gonna come right back to show you guys the 5 nails of this set. And let's get to it. Okay guys, so we are done with the video, and I don't have the nails on unfortunately right now, but I will pop a video on the side for you guys here of me displaying the nails. And I love all of the colors, I love all of the designs that came out. I kind of switched the order of the designs between the two hands. I don't want them to be completely symmetrical, so I just switched around the order of the design. So I'm happy you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know which design is your favorite down below in the comments. Like the video if you liked it, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I post every Friday or almost every Friday, so I don't want you guys to miss any video. So subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Bye!